Hello and welcome back to another brand new review for Star Trek Discovery Season 5, Episode 1, The Twin Moons. At least I'm trying to remember if that's the correct title. You'll obviously know from the thumbnail and the title. So we got a double bill Star Trek this week. Early on this today, I did my review for Season 5, Episode 1. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out. It should be the most the video under this in terms of uploads. And yeah, so what did I think of this episode? It was all right. It wasn't as fast paced as episode one, and that's perfectly fine. It needed to slow down after the fast amount of stuff that was going on in episode one, and I liked it. We definitely did get some reveals for throughout this episode, which kept it interesting. Which in my opinion, kind of saved the episode for me. So let's break it down. Discovery, after limping back from the last episode, has to, go through some repairs in dry dock. Captain Raynar, from who we met in the first episode, has is kind of going through an inquiry, and so Burnham has to go join that. And so once that's dealt with, Discovery goes to the planet where they believe is the next place they need to go, and it's Burnham and Saru doing it because it's Saru's last mission before he becomes a Federation ambassador. Um, so they walk on this planet because they can't beam directly to where they need to be because of some electric thingamajig that's preventing them from going there. So they have to walk there. Once they get in the perimeter, they trip the security system for this planet because the planet, its species is no longer around. They're extinct, but they use this planet as a burial ground. So obviously they're going to have security there as some sort of security systems there to prevent grave robbing as well as disturbing um, the final resting place of these people. So they try to come up with a way. Reddick manages to hack into Discovery to help them come up with a way to think like the people who are no longer there. Ask a bunch of questions of what technology did they have 2,000 years ago, in order to be able to find out what it is. Saru decides that in order to shut it off, instead of doing something dangerous, to use an EMP, which works. They get to the place. Turns out that Maul and Lorik have already been there and have gotten rid of what was originally there, the message that was there. So they eventually translate it and they figure out that there's a verse missing that was wrong. It was a Romulan verse. Usually a Romulan poem is in like 5 verses. So they eventually move the thing uh, and find the fifth verse as well as an important piece to the puzzle. And so then, of course, they quickly beam back on board. Whilst that's happening, uh, Book is on board as well as Tilly. Tilly's back on board on loan for this episode, which I'm happy about because Tilly is one of my favorite characters. And so Book uses his courier connections with the Dark Courier Network for dangerous and high value artifacts. So he contacts them to try and get them to stand down and to let the Federation handle this. And he notices something, and after they cut contact because they're trying to track them down, um, he leaves. And so Maul and Lorik think that they need to go to Beta Z, but in actuality, they didn't have the fifth verse. So in reality, they actually need to go to Trill, which I'm happy about because that means we'll probably get to see Gray, another one of my favorite characters from the last couple of seasons of the show. And so it turns out that the piece that um, Burnham and Saru got was just one of five pieces to a puzzle. So that's what they need to do. That the once they get all five pieces of the puzzle, they'll be able to triangulate the progenitor's location. And so Buck goes back to his room and he pulls up a picture of Morel and asks Zora to de-age her to 7 years, 3 months. And then that's when Paul Stamets, not Paul, Hugh walks in, and it's revealed that Maul is related in some shape or form to Book. And then the episode ends with it turns out Raynar has been forced into early retirement because of the whole fiasco from the last episode, but Burnham wants him as the new number one. Since Saru was Burnham's number one, now that he's gone, she needs a new number one. So yeah, overall, I really like this episode. I like that we got to see more interactions between Burnham and Saru, as well as bringing up stuff from the past, of Burnham being given a second chance, which is why she gave Raynar the second chance, after being Starfleet's first mutineer. Also bringing up when Burnham first joined Discovery and what Saru thought at that point. It was great seeing Tilly again. I'm looking forward to going back to the Trill homeworld next week. So overall, I really enjoyed these past two episodes. They've definitely got me intrigued as to see how this is going to play out because I think it was teased that it was going to be like Indiana Jones set in space. I'm not an Indiana Jones fan. I've seen bits and pieces of some of the movies. I haven't seen any of them in full, but so far I'm enjoying the ride. So let me know what you thought of this of the ride so far, the past two episodes, in the comments down below. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Since I've just said subscribe, and if you're not subscribed, the subscribe logo should have glowed. So do subscribe if you want to see more Star Trek reviews. I've done a heap of other Star Trek reviews where I've reviewed all three seasons of TOS, as well as the animated series. I reviewed season 2 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, as well as all the movies. So that's all in a dedicated playlist for you to go check out. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you're a returning viewer, I shall see you all tomorrow for my classic Doctor Who review of the episode Revenge of the Cybermen. I shall see you all for that tomorrow.